Hey guys, Chris, the Ultimate Recycler. I'm at the shop again. We are closed. It's Monday. We only open 3 days over the weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And during the week, I'm going to be doing more and more videos here, cleaning up my storeroom. So this is episode 2. I've decided to name them of the Great Shop Cleanup. Yes, there you go. It's got a name. Of course, what else was it going to be? From last episode, we had those lampshades I got out of the storeroom, and you'll see them just behind me. I've shoved them up there. Haven't sold any yet, but only just put them in yesterday, and we won't be open now again until Friday. I did sell some of the bottles, and I'm not sure. I have to go the other way. I can't get through that way. So walk with me. The box of bottles, the uncleaned ones at the end that I was going to go $2 each. Well, Dylan, who was a subscriber, dropped in and he grabbed them. I did him a deal. He did them for $40. So there was over $50 worth at $2 each. And he was happy with that. And I've put the other ones on the shelf here. I'll show you. Along with the other bottles, they make a nice display. And I quite like the old Scrabble letters there on a little wooden stand, just to say bottles, just for, you know, not that people don't know they're bottles, but I saw that once in an antique shop in Tasmania and I thought that's a cool way of using old Scrabble letters, so I put that there. So I've added a few extra from what we went through. I did go through another box just yesterday that I didn't film. There was a couple of nicer ones, but nothing outstanding, so I didn't worry about trying to film it. And that's my current display of antique bottles in the shop. I do have a few other ones around the place. There's some old insulators there, various other little stoneware inks, and there's a chemist jar and some half flagons up the top, a few larger ones of whiskey there. So it's making a nice display. People love looking at them, and I do sell quite a lot of bottles, so I would imagine we're going to get rid of them fairly quickly. I'll probably every now and again go through and discount any ones that have been there for a while and keep them turning over as far as different stock goes. Out in the kitchen here, we've got a few soaking. These are from the box I did that I didn't film. These are large gin bottles, and they are a bit dirty inside. That's why I'm soaking them. There's another hat dye there. It's a slightly different one to the one I had the other day. That's another one, and there's a medicine or a tonic there. Nothing outstanding. That one's a phenol, which is a disinfectant. So all around about 1900 era. So they'll give them a quick scrub up. They'll probably be about $10 each. We'll see how we go there. All right, today's video, let's tackle this mountain. That's where I thought we'd start. So we'll make an effort. We'll make some decisions, and hopefully we can reduce some of that quantity there. There's a lot of stuff just been shoved on top. There was a reasonably neat stack of boxes, but invariably a stack of boxes leaves a flat surface on top, which just encourages other stuff to be stacked there until eventually it becomes a little disorganized and takes on the shape of a mountain, which of course we can have avalanches, and I have indeed had some. Anyone that stores a lot of quantity in sheds knows that no matter how neat you started out, you always end up with a bit of an avalanche. The problem, I think, though, is you sometimes try and look for something and you know roughly where it is. Things get moved and not restacked. Anyway, let's start at the beginning. Right here in this tub, we have some old DVDs, CDs. We get hundreds of these. Some of them are movies, some of them are copied or pirated ones, some of them are software from printers and computers. I don't try and, well, I'm not going to sell them without the covers. If there's a movie or part of a set like this one, Breaking Bad Disc 3, the case might have been damaged. It might have been missing a CD or a DVD. We only sell DVDs at $2 each or 3 for $5. Some of the series we will sell for a bit more, but they just end up in boxes like this. I was going to make lamps out of them. I know people do, and there's quite a lot here. But, you know, I think that's one project that I might just let go. I don't really think it's going to be worth my time, and really I've got enough restoration projects to keep me busy for the rest of my life, and they excite me more than making lamps out of DVDs or CDs. So what can we do with them? Well, unless you guys have any great comments about, I don't know, some repurposing project I haven't thought of, I'm going to try and recycle them. You can't put them in your recycle bin, your curbside recycle bin. They're a polycarbonate material, but they have a layer of metal or foil, and then of course all the data is on the metal layer. So they're a composite material, they're not just pure polycarbonate. I looked into seeing if it was easy to melt, and it's not, and it's going to have impurities in it. Apparently you can reform them if you get them to a certain temperature, but then what do you make, little bowls? It's not really worthwhile. I've seen people turn them into clocks, but that's not really worthwhile in my view either. There's a pirated one. We get a lot of pre-recorded ones, and not allowed to sell them. So I checked out online, and apparently Officeworks, that's an office stationery chain in Australia. I don't know if you have them overseas. Apparently they take them for recycling. So I've got a box in the car. I don't want to take too many at once in case we overwhelm them, and I'll ask them next time I'm there. I'll let you know how we go. So I'll hang on to these ones for now, but if we can recycle them at Officeworks, that's where they're going. Okay, what's next? We have an old lamp here that I think is worth putting a fitting in. We might try and do this actually. It needs a cord. Maybe I'll take that home and do that at home. I've got plenty of old lamp fittings with switches in them. So it's a 1960s era anodized aluminium shade. Quite a heavy base. I think it's a cast iron base. And I reckon that's a cute enough lamp to resell. Worth the effort to put a new fitting and globe in it and a cord. There's a chain here. Well, I do sell old chains. People use them. Oh, I think that's part of a... That's an unusual latch. Is that part of a snow chain setup? Not sure. Well, maybe it was part of a wire strainer. Anyway, old chains I usually just put in a box, and people buy them. It's got some nice hooks on them. People buy them just for hanging up plants in their fernery or that sort of stuff. I've got a few old ones in our fernery at home. They look great. Yeah, that's quite nice. Got a couple of hooks on it. Actually, I think I'd get $5 for that alone, because it's got some hooks on it. Could be used for all sorts of stuff, but that's kind of a cute old chain. If it didn't have the hooks, I would put it in a box of assorted chains, but I'm going to put $5 on that one. This one, oh, there's two of them. Yeah, I reckon that might be off a wire strainer, and that's just a pretty standard little small link chain. I'm just going to make a box of them. There's a few more somewhere else. In fact, we've got over here, this was an old drench container cut in half. A lot of farmers used to do this for storage. So we'll make that our rustic chain tub. I'll add a few others, and I'll just maybe ask $5 or $10, depending how many we get. And that can go into the shop as well, but we will price that one separately. Okay, we're making progress. What's this cord? Whoops. Oh, hang on. No, that doesn't go with it. This is just a little LED strip light. Runs off 12 volts. I'm going to take that home, and I've got plenty of 12 volt chargers. In fact, we have to look at chargers soon. There's lots of them in this pile, but this will be handy under a bench or under a shelf over a bench, just for extra light. So I will use that one. Would be easier to sell anyway. This cord is just a cord, been cut off. I have saved cords for, actually, we might even use that cord for that lamp. That's why I've saved them. We don't need a cord with an inline switch, because this one we're going to have a switch in the fitting, so they can go together. We'll take them home and do that job at home. This is a nice old vintage light fitting. I'm guessing maybe 1950s. It would have had one of those large saucer type glasses with a couple of globes that just sit above it, and so it's got the actual mounting thing on the bottom as well. So I wonder if I've got any of those, because that's essentially complete. We just need the glass, and we can hang that up and sell that. I better have a look for one of those. Way too good for scrap metal. There's a chance that that's brass. It could be nickel plated brass, but because it's got the fittings there, and because it's got the bottom nut, that will look great if we can find a glass for it, and I possibly have some. Alright, we're kind of making space. I guess we've got to make some decisions on chargers. I reckon that's next, because there's chargers everywhere. There are power packs off all sorts of things. There's probably laptop chargers, there'd be probably phone chargers. Ones that I've thrown in a box thinking, well, I actually sell them, and that's probably what I've got to work out. I'm not going to be able to sell these once I don't have a shop anymore. I know you can find them on eBay, but generally they don't sell that well, or they've got to be so cheap because postage is the biggest component of the cost. especially a linear power supply like this that has a heavy transformer in it. I'll probably even scrap these ones. I guess I need to go through and sort out what voltages they are. There's a few more up on top here. Any unusual voltage ones I will probably put aside for now. I think we just need to get rid of the volume. That's a Lenovo. That might be a tablet charger. Some special ones you can sell on eBay. And I've got more back in here. In plastic bags, they're all 9 volt and 6 volt ones. And then I've got some in the tubs there, 6 volt. There's AC power supplies. And 22 and 24, I think that end tub says. So I need to work out what I'm going to do with the chargers. That's probably what we'll do today. I've got a trolley out in the shop that I did put some in. Let's go and have a look at that. So I've just dragged this trolley out from one of the aisles. I've been putting this out the front. This one has 12 volt DC power supplies. And I've tried $2 each or 3 for $5. Haven't sold one, and it's been out there 2 weekends. So that's not really working. I used to sell them at $5 each, but when someone needs one, $5 is fine. But trying to convince people to take them if they don't need them, that's the challenge. I'm never going to get through all the power supplies I've got here, no matter how long the shop's open, because even down here, there's another box of 12 volt power supplies that I've put aside. They've got a bit tangled. I also have some unusual voltage power supplies here, including some printer ones. And I think there's more 12 volt power supplies down here. So what are we going to do? I could scrap them all. I could cut the wires off. I'm going to get some value for the wires. But the switch mode power supplies, they're quite light. They're not worth anything to me. So if I chop the wire off, I get some electric wire, which I can sell. The rest of it will just go to e-waste. The ones with the linear power supplies, the heavier transformers, I thought there was one in here somewhere. Oh, this one over here. So that's much heavier, and it's got a decent transformer in it. So it's not a switch mode, it's a linear power supply. One hit with a hammer and they crack open very easily. The transformer is worth a bit of money to me. And then I've still got the wire, and what's left can go into e-waste. So even though I'll get some value out of it, it's nowhere near $1. So I think we'll try them at $1 each next weekend and see how we go. Maybe I'll try and do a big sign, power supply clearance. People might grab them for projects. They might, I don't know. We'll see how we go. So maybe I'll do 12 volt, 9 volt, 6 volt, and have this trolley just for power supplies at $1 each. And we'll see if we can clear some out. It's going to be the best way to get a return and not have to pack them up and take them home. I don't want to do that. Although if it comes to the crunch and the end of the shop and we have to clear out, I will just scrap them all. I'm probably better off doing that at home. So what I might do is sort out some of the ones from the other room there. We'll change the sign and we'll see if we can sell some next weekend. I've just been pulling out some chargers, and I thought, well, you guys probably want to watch me open boxes and pull out stuff. That's what we're here for, or that's what you're here for. I found another tub down there of 12 volt chargers. So it seems 12 volts are by far the most common. I do have some unusual voltages in there. There are all sorts of weird things. I might dig out the 6 volt ones, and I have some 5 volt ones, which are generally USB. I haven't been through all those yet. And there's another box under there, so I've got stacks of them. What I've done with this trolley is I've just written $1 each on top, and I've got the bottom one full of 12. I might do 12 on the next one, and then maybe 6 or 5. I haven't got many 9s. 9s are actually a bit harder to find. But I want to get at least a bit of a selection in here to put out next weekend and see if we can move them. Otherwise, it may not even be worth the hassle. I might just cut all the wires off them. It seems a bit of a waste. And I know down the track I'm going to be looking for a charger and I won't have one, but I guess that's how life goes, hey? But there's lots of... Some of these are old... That's a Uniden. Some of them are old mobile phone chargers. And I have kept a few old Nokias and things, and I probably should keep the original chargers with them. Just they may eBay down the track. I'm not too sure. What have we got here? That's just an empty tub, which would be good storage for something. There's another empty tub there. And empty container there. The Collins Australian Farmer's Diary. Oh, this might be actually from the farm. Got a name in it. 1926. So it's a lot of information. Oh, here we go. Oh yeah, this is an original 25, 27. This is an original diary from my family. Not so much information that some people write in diaries. It's more just cropping figures, yeah, bags, bushels. So we're talking wheat. It might have been when they were sowing certain paddocks. So not really interesting, but relates to our original farm. So I'll hang on to that for now. It's not worth anything to anyone else. I have got a box of historical farm stuff. Here we have some Bakelite light switches. I often keep the parts that aren't broken. So sometimes you get a cover that's broken, but the rest of the switch is okay. They don't always match up. I think that's the wrong size. But for complete ones, I'll get $5 each. So it's worth, same with plugs, Bakelite plugs. And that's actually a socket. So I'll hang on to those bits because I know I can sell them, and they might sell well on eBay or at markets down the track. So I will keep any good Bakelite pieces. That switch has a broken piece on the toggle, but the rest of the switch is probably okay. So yeah, I'll just keep them as parts, and I'll be able to make them up in the future. I better put them in a box and label them. What do we got down here? Looks like from a laptop. It's a heat sink with copper and aluminium. And we have some RAM sticks, definitely laptop ones. So I've got a box of RAM sticks somewhere. They'll just be for scrap. And some casters. They look like the tips from walking sticks, or it may be off a decent chair. Looks like there's a set of 4. We could probably sell those. We'll sell the casters. A few light fittings. That's the collar from a light fitting. So I better sort those out. I did see some other light fittings here somewhere. Where were they? Maybe up here. Oh yeah, there's some in there. Alright, oh, and there's casters in here. So we've got random stuff everywhere. What's underneath that? Some mobile phones. There's an old iPhone. I have a heap of iPhones that's rather damaged. I have a heap of iPhones to sell. The older ones. The newer ones are usually activation locked, and I've been learning all about that recently. That's a Telstra LG. Alright, so we have lots of random stuff to go through. There's another part for a light switch. So that can go in with those. And there's bits of broken china. There's hose clamps. There's bits of hardware. There's another phone. There's an old Nokia. I think these ones might be worth just putting aside for now. They probably will become more collectible in the future, but then again, there's probably millions of them in people's drawers. What's in this container? Nothing, another empty one. Alright, well, I think what I'll do is I'll reach in here, and I've got these chargers or power supplies in that shelf that have been sorted. I'll put them on our little trolley, and we'll try them on the weekend. Okay, I think I've done enough here today. We have emptied the shelf mostly, and I've pulled a few boxes ahead here. I sorted out all the stuff we looked at, other than the little bits of hardware. They'll probably go in a jar for sale. That other tub of 12-volt chargers. We have some empty boxes and things, which is always a nice sign. This is ready to go, and hopefully it's just a matter of restocking regularly. I did find a few more 9-volt chargers that I thought I had, but I've certainly got lots of 12s. So we'll see how that goes. As for the stuff that I pulled out, well, I found a few more chains and a couple of nice old hooks. So I'm going to go $10 on that. I thought this is too cute with the 2 hooks. I'm going to go $10 on that. The casters here, the old metal ones, they're a little rusty on the mounting plate, but they swivel well, they spin well. I think they're in pretty good condition. I think we'll try and get 10 for those. I thought I might as well put 10 on this nice old light fitting. Someone may have a glass shade for it, and it may as well sit in the shop with $10 price tag on it. If I find a nice glass for it, I can hang it up and we'll get a lot more. But anyway, it may as well sit in the shop. At least it gets out of the store shed. I was going to price these separately. I think they're too big for walking sticks. It's possibly table legs or something. Could we put 5 on that set? They seem okay. They're not perished. I might try 5 on that set. I do have a jar full of random stoppers. I can always add them to that. We'll see how we go. So that gives us a bit of stock for the shop, and hopefully we can move some of those chargers. And I did pull out a 12-volt charger for that LED strip. We'll take that home and give it a test. and also that old vintage 60s era lamp. We'll get that fixed up as well. So we've got a bit of value out of just starting in that room, and yeah, we didn't make a lot of space though, really. Yeah, it doesn't really look much clearer, but we have made some inroads, we've made some decisions, and there is a couple of spare shelves down that aisle. So we'll call it quits here today. Just baby steps, just, you know, a little bit at a time, and we'll gradually get through it. I'm keen to open some of those boxes and see what's in that pile though. Okay, let's go home. Okay, only about 15 minutes in the workshop. I found a suitable age-appropriate switch for the lamp and wired it up to the cord that we found. I put a bit of extra heat shrink tubing through just to make sure it sort of fits snugly in the back of the fitting, and it is wired up with strain relief in there. So I haven't done anything else to the lamp. It doesn't need any cleaning. It just looks perfectly vintage, just that wonderful old patina as it is. So let's power it up through the appliance tester. Oh, it's already on. It's not on here. There we go. So that's just a LED globe, so it won't get very hot, which means the plastic will actually last a lot longer, because the old incandescent globes, especially if you had a 100-watt globe in there, you would find that the plastic surround that holds the fitting tight, they eventually go brittle and crumble. So the LED will ensure that it will last longer. So what a great desk lamp. Beautiful for someone that likes that vintage industrial. For the sake of 10 minutes work or so, and a second-hand saved cord that's perfectly safe, and a saved switch, we could probably get $50 for that pretty easily, I think. So very good. That can go into the shop on Friday. Now, the other thing I brought home to test was, oh, and I found a 12-watt power supply. You know I've got plenty of them. And just to test this LED strip light, I think it should work. It came from the farm, I think, this one. So let's power that up. And there's a switch here in line. There we go, beautiful. That will be great under a shelf, perhaps in my other little workshop, under one of the shelves, to give me some good even light on the workbench. I could easily sell that, but I'm going to hang on to that one. So, and now I've got a power supply for it. I think this power supply was for a modem or something. It's 12 volts, and I think it's 2.5 amps or something. So plenty of power for the LEDs. So I'm going to miss having a good stack of power supplies when they all go, but anyway, I guess I'll find them again. Beauty, that finishes up the stuff we salvaged from the storage shed today. Now, I contemplated doing a list of values like I'm doing for the emergency storage shed, but you know, I've already done a box of bottles that I hadn't filmed. I've got a couple of paintings out of there that were in danger of getting flooded, and I've already priced those. They were quite good ones, actually. Creating a list and keeping track of values just adds to my workload at the moment, and unless you guys all scream that you want it, I'm probably going to not do it. I will continue it for the emergency storage shed, because it's kind of interesting to see how much we get out of that shed. Yes, it would be the same with the shop and my secret storage facility that I have to empty as well. But I think for the sake of getting reasonable productivity, I won't worry about a price list at the end. I'm pretty well saying what I'm going to get for stuff throughout the videos. You can add up your own list if you really want to, but there will be some stuff I don't film just purely to get stuff done. So thanks for watching. I hope you're going to enjoy this series. It's going to be a doozy. It's going to be a decent ride. Hang on. We'll catch you in the next episode. Probably get back there later this week. So we'll see you then. Bye for now.